do the, I don't know what.
You know, these guys I'm getting my stats from lately, they're just wrong stats.
Where are you getting your stats from?
On today's Part of My Take, we've got a lot of show. We got John Cena on the show. We have national championship recap. Georgia Bulldogs, your national champions. We have coach firings. We have Jersey Jerry doing a little blue-collar talk. An awesome, awesome show for you, and it's brought to you by our friends at Roman. Most guys have tried different ways to last longer, but thinking about baseball doesn't always work. The folks at Roman, an online men's health company, are changing the game with Roman Swipes, the secret to longer-lasting sex. If you're one of those guys that maybe said the Pledge of Allegiance in your head or counted backwards from 10, you don't have to do that anymore. Roman Swipes are a clinically proven way to last longer in bed. They're effective, easy to use, and fast-acting, but don't require a prescription. Roman can ship swipes to you in discreet, unmarked packaging, and each swipes packet is small enough to hide in your wallet for whenever you need it. They're super easy to use. Just take the swipes out of the packet, swipe it on, let it dry, and you're good to go. That's it. Go to GetRoman.com/take. You can get your first month of swipes for just $5 when you choose a monthly plan. That's GetRoman.com/take. One more time, GetRoman.com/take. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Part of My Take, presented by GetRoman.com/take. Go right now. You get your first swipes for $5. GetRoman.com/take. Today is Wednesday, January 12th. Who's that coming down the track? You're supposed to do call and response. No, you say it back.
Who's that coming down the track?
It's a mean machine in red and black.
It's a mean machine in red and black.
Ain't nothing finer in the land.
Ain't nothing finer in the land
than a drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan.
Than a drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan.
Calling all the dogs, baby. I love that chant just because they basically tell you I'm going to be drunk and obnoxious in your face.
And I love Kirby Smart after the game saying, like, we're going to destroy some property in Indianapolis.
That was a callback.
I know, it was a callback. It was a callback, but it was still an awesome thing to say on a hot mic right after you win a natty, right in front of Nick Saban's face. I saw like a change in Nick Saban last night.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed this, but in the post-game handshake with Kirby Smart and even right after the game, I think that there's like a small part of Nick Saban that was kind of relieved that he lost. That was like more
rat poison.
He's happy that he lost because now he's got all sorts of bulletin board material for next year. But he was chilled out. He was smiling more when he was congratulating Kirby Smart than he was if he had won. And we've seen Nick Saban collecting that national championship trophy before, and he'll let out like the corner of his mouth will turn up, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I got to go get recruiting. This sucks." But he was like. He looked like a different, like a chilled out version of Nick Saban after that loss.
Yeah, no, he's said himself that like he's trying to show more of his personality, be, happier, and it shows. I mean, he's won it all. He's the greatest coach of all time. Losing one, it's obviously disappointing for Alabama, but man, Georgia, what an unbelievable game. I love that game so much because it had everything. The first three quarters were a complete defensive like masterpiece. And there's something about, I know that like the way football has gone, that we're used to shootouts and, we love that Rams-Chiefs Monday Night Football game that everyone points to. But there's something about a game like Monday night's game where every possession felt like life and death. Like when it was 9-6 at halftime and you're saying to yourself, the first person to score a touchdown, it feels like an insurmountable lead. There was something just so incredible about watching that back and forth. And then in the fourth quarter, you got the shootout. Like the fourth quarter, we got the crazy plays, insane. The touchdown pass from Stetson Bennett to Adonai Mitchell was incredible. Everything. I love that game so much. It was an awesome, awesome national championship. By far the two best teams. And Kirby Smart finally, and the Georgia Bulldogs finally get the monkey off their back and take down Alabama.
It was also incredible to see Kirby jumping up in the air after that interception to seal the game. He probably has like a 30-inch vertical leap, which is, I mean, for a guy that's got a face like Kirby Smart, there's nothing about that guy's cheeks that say, like, I can get more than a foot off the ground. But he got air.
That's actually like the obviously Nick Saban took to Kirby Smart because he's a very, very good coach. But a big part of their relationship is the famous NBA, Noon Basketball Association, that Nick Saban runs, where he stacks the team so he always wins. And they call it the Nick Basketball Association. When Kirby Smart was an assistant for Nick Saban, he immediately was like, oh, this guy's actually pretty good at basketball. He's on my team every time.
And that's what kept him around for a while.
Yeah, he stayed for, I think he was one of the longest tenured assistants under Nick Saban.
I think that Kirby Smart, he can probably dunk.
He
can get rim. What's Kirby, like 6'1", 6'2"?
He might be a little shorter than that, but yeah, I mean, this is also talking, like 15 years ago when he first, he was a lot younger.
Did you see him jump last night, though?
Yes.
Like, I think he can get rim. I think Kirby's sneaky athletic.
It was awesome, though. The game was incredible. Stetson Bennett might be one of the coolest stories. I don't know if we'll ever see, obviously you never say never with sports, but with the way college football is going, and the ability for like high-level 5-star quarterbacks to transfer easily, it will be, I'll say this confidently, it'll be a long time before we see a walk-on be the starting quarterback for a national champion again. That was the first walk-on or former walk-on who beat Nick Saban since 1997. He walked on at Georgia. He left because Justin Fields got recruited, 5-star. He went to a junior college. Justin Fields then transferred to Ohio State. He came back, had a bunch of, people had to get injured in front of him. He's a Georgia fan, grew up a Georgia fan. Not like, it was crazy watching him get tossed around at times during the game because it's all these guys that are freak athletes.
He's 5'11" and like 185 pounds.
And then little Stetson Bennett is like, this guy doesn't, one of these things is not like the other. And he's out there making big time throws. And that moment, when that fumble happened, I mean, Georgia fans had to be as low as they've ever been, and that was like, I can't believe we trusted Stetson fucking Bennett in this game.
It felt like the game when you have actually, no, I'll take it back. There was another play where I was like, Stetson Bennett can't win this game. It was on the flea flicker, where I think he got intentional grounding on a flea flicker.
Yes.
And if you get intentional grounding on a flea flicker, that's about as bad as it can get.
It was also the first, the other Stetson Bennett can't win this game, which we all were proven wrong. I think was either the first or second game or play of the entire game for Georgia when he got sacked for like 15 yards.
And then I think on the third play, he scrambled for like 7 yards and fumbled to himself and bounced.
No one's ever started a game more nervous than him.
There were so many plays where it's like Stetson Bennett is in way over his head.
And then he made that huge throw.
But I think if you're Stetson Bennett, at the end of the day, you can just remind yourself, like, my name is Stetson Bennett IV.
Yes.
It is my destiny to be the quarterback of the University of Georgia.
And he now has everything. Like, I don't know, the mock drafts say maybe 4th round to undrafted, who I would doubt that he's going to play much in the NFL.
Doesn't matter. He's a king for life.
He's got to be Augusta membership for life. He's got to have like at least 4 car dealerships in Athens. He's going to has it all.
I think he's going to start out with an ATV place, like ATV and boat rentals.
Yeah.
And then parlay that into becoming the used auto king of the Eastern Seaboard. It's such a cool thing for him, especially that he was a Georgia fan when he was a kid.
Right.
And then
it's every Georgia fan's dream to be the quarterback of the Bulldogs, and then he did it, and he shouldn't have been the quarterback for the Bull. Like, if you had hit Kirby Smart with True Serum, like, would you rather have Stetson Bennett starting this game or a 5-star prospect that every elite program now has?
Yeah.
But no, it's Stetson Bennett.
Stetson Bennett just somehow, it was the exact right time, exact right place for Stetson Bennett, and he took full advantage of it.
He had a great quote. Ready for this quote? He said afterwards, by the way, it's so funny watching these guys do the interviews after, being like, oh, we actually got to interview Joe Burrow when he was still drunk. Because he was like, Stetson Bennett went on Good Morning America.
Yeah.
He was wasted.
The difference is we were also drunk.
Yes, right. We said that.
Michael Strahan should have been drunk if he's interviewing Stetson Bennett. It is fucked up. I always thought that the meanest thing that you could ever do to somebody is make them call and talk to Mike Greenberg at 6 o'clock in the morning.
It's
the
brutal.
day after you win something.
But he said, I hope it gives someone a little hope. Keep your mouth shut. Work hard. Life is tough. Work through it. And like, he could say that because he was a walk-on, and then he was transferred, and then he came back, and then he had to have, he was behind Jake Fromm, and then he had to have the guy last year, who his name's escaping me, suck, and then he got in, and then JT Daniels was a starter, then he got hurt. Like, all these things had to happen for him to be part of an incredible team, and obviously the real, like, winner of the Georgia football team is their defense, which they played their absolute dicks off. Like it felt like Alabama, and Jameson Williams getting hurt was a big game changer.
Huge.
But Alabama, like every time they would get these big plays, and Georgia's defense was able to like basically shake it off and be like, all right, don't give up a touchdown. Make them score field goals here.
So we're not going to do the thing where we debate whether or not the worst NFL team could lose to Georgia, because I think the Colts would beat Georgia by at least 20 points.
Yes.
But I do think that this game, the Alabama-Georgia National Championship, had as many fast players on the field as most NFL teams would.
It was insane.
The speed on defense from Georgia, it's terrifying watching their big men run. It's actually scary to me. And their linebackers are faster than most safeties.
And then on top of all of that, you got a guy like Brian Robinson who's making them look small. Like there was that stretch where it felt like Bama had taken control of the game when they were just pounding and pounding and pounding, and like it was like, they've sucked the life out of this game. I think it was when they again got a field goal because I think someone dropped there was a lot of drop passes for Bryce Young, who's awesome. I love him so much, even in defeat. But Brian Robinson was just bouncing off these dudes, and like guys were trying to go high, and he was just carrying them for extra yards. You're right. It was like one of those games where you watched it, and this sucks to say, but if you're a fan of pretty much, I don't know, any team except for like the top 5, you realize it's a different sport. Like those guys are playing a different sport than everyone else in college football.
Even the top 2. The top 2 separation from
this year. Yeah, I'm saying from Clemson has dudes
Clemson's
like that.
Clemson's going to be able to reload.
Ohio State, but I'm saying if as a Wisconsin fan, I'm watching it being like, no, this isn't the same sport. No, this is not the same sport.
Although Stetson is like the one wild card, where Stetson Bennett, he probably wouldn't start at a lot of schools out there, a lot of D1 schools.
I did say to myself in a moment of utter stupidity when it was 9-6 at half, I was like, this is kind of a game script that Wisconsin could hang in. Just even though they would have been down like 40.
But that's the thing about Stetson is if you root for a school like Wisconsin, or just any school that's 5 through 25,
right?
Your quarterback's probably better than Stetson Bennett is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it could happen to you. Dude, that's the most important position. You could find lightning in a bottle if everything else lines up perfectly.
Think about the quarterbacks that have won the national championship in the last 5 years. It's Mac Jones.
Trevor Lawrence. He sucks.
It's Joe Burrow. It's Tua. It's fucking Deshaun Watson. Like, these guys are studs that are top picks in the draft, and then Stetson Bennett. Throw his name in there.
Combo breaker.
Unbelievable.
Also, I don't want to get bonked for this because I don't mean in a sexual way, but they need to freeze this Ugga's sperm. Like, this Ugga, for whatever reason, has championship DNA.
Poor guy was just so tired.
He was so sleepy.
Tired.
He doesn't have a blanket. He doesn't have a pillow. He doesn't have a bowl of food or water. They just put him in like a plastic crate and make him go to sleep. He's in the transfer portal to oblivion, just passing out in there. But for whatever reason, this Ugga he's built different. You need to keep this DNA in-house if you're the University of Georgia, and all other Uggas need to be related to this one.
And it's, for Georgia fans, like, there's got to be nothing sweeter. You win a title for the first time since 1980. You've had really good teams in that time frame, but to beat Alabama, I saw a stat. So Georgia and Alabama faced off 4 times in the last, 3 or 4 years, obviously starting with that 2018 national championship where they were up at half and Tua comes in. Georgia was leading 71% of those games, and they were 0-4. Like, they were so close so many times, and they just couldn't climb that mountain. So to not only beat Alabama, beat Nick Saban, come from behind and do it, it's like the perfect script for any fan. Georgia fans have to be just on cloud 9 right now, and it was cool to have a new national champion. Like, we talk about it all the time. It's kind of, I love college football so much, but I can also admit that when Alabama wins every year, or Clemson for a couple of years there, like, it gets a little boring. Georgia being new blood, even though it doesn't feel like it because it's SEC, it's fun to have a new team win a national championship.
I also like the fact that the game took place in Indianapolis. I'm glad that it wasn't
Big Ten.
I'm glad it wasn't in like a southern city where they usually have, if it was somewhere in Florida, somewhere in Georgia, or somewhere in Louisiana. It feels like it's so much cooler to have 2 SEC fan bases invade like a northern city.
Yes.
And just like wreck its shop for a week. Like the Georgia fans that got arrested at St. Elmo's for calling the dogs at St. Elmo's.
Imagine
that's cool as shit.
Imagine being a Bama fan, because I would, like Athens and Tuscaloosa are, I think, like a little less than 300 miles apart. So people probably aren't flying to like those flights aren't the same. But a lot of people, a lot of Alabama fans are flying back to Atlanta. A lot of Georgia fans are flying back to Atlanta. Imagine being a Bama fan, losing, and then having to get barked at on a flight all the way home.
They're calling the dogs.
Just
you couldn't go out to a dinner last night because they were going to call the dogs at Harry's and Izzy's in the airport too. You can't get on a plane. You're probably waiting in an Uber line right now with a bunch of Georgia fans that are calling the dogs.
You're getting barked at. You've been getting barked at by human beings for 3 days straight, and it sucks. And no one feels bad for Bama fans, because this is the cost of just being Alabama. You're in it every year. You can't win it every year. They are like significant odds-on favorites to win next year.
I don't think they're odds-on. I think them and Georgia are tied for number one.
No, I'm pretty sure they were plus 150 and Georgia was like 300 or something. Because they have Bryce Young coming back. They have Will Anderson coming back. Like their whole
odds-on would mean like they're minus money. They're like minus
whatever.
110.
They are the significant favorites. They're the favorites by far.
When I saw this morning, it was about even. That might have changed just in the last couple hours.
Yeah, they're plus 150. Georgia's plus 500.
Okay,
Ohio State's second.
Okay, that changed a lot then.
No, I think it was right after, but they have they will most likely be in this game next year. Because Nick Saban would even say.
I'm sure they will. Alabama's going to be around for forever. Minor setback for a major comeback for Alabama.
Yeah, no one feels bad. Okay, should we talk some NFL? Let's do NFL coach firings. So this is the only part. This is the downside of Week 18, that it overlaps. Like Black Monday, where we get all the coach firings, is also the National Championship Day. Mm-hmm. I like to really soak in the coach firings.
They do deserve to have their days of like massive celebration from franchises.
Yes.
Getting to turn a page.
Yes. So Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace both out in Chicago. We expected it. Vic Fangio out in Denver. We expected it. Mike Zimmer out in Minnesota. We expected it. And then the shocker, Brian Flores out in Miami, which I think did shock a lot of people. In reading about it, it feels a lot like how a lot of the Belichick disciples have gone, where good coach, maybe not, like he's pulling some of the secrecy stuff, some of the team building stuff that isn't there, and your name's not Bill Belichick, and that can sometimes rub people the wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, he ended up winning, 7 games in a row this year?
He won, 7 games.
But the problem is he also started 1-7, right?
Right.
And so, he's a good coach, especially his record against Bill Belichick. I think he was 4-2 lifetime as a coach of the Dolphins against Belichick, which is pretty impressive.
On the same token, like, as everyone's talking about how he beat Bill Belichick, the Bills beat the shit out of the Dolphins too. So it's kind of like it's. Mm-hmm. I like seeing everyone say, like, why would you fire a coach that beats Bill Belichick? Well, the last couple of years, the Bills have been the Patriots in the AFC East, and he didn't beat them.
Also, the last 4 games that they've played, they've had either Mac Jones or Cam Newton as a quarterback. So it's not like the Patriots that they're playing. But I think Brian Flores is like. People were surprised because over the course of the season, they seem to be building momentum.
Right.
But if you look at what they did last year and this year, it's kind of like, okay, it's a little bit stagnant. The fact that you had a bad start like they had this year, that's going to put you on the hot seat immediately.
Right.
And yeah, he had to have like a miraculous comeback in the second half. I think he's a perfectly fine coach. I think he's an above average coach. But I was surprised that they did it because I felt like if you're trending in the right direction and you have a winning record in the NFL, you almost never get fired.
Right. Yeah, you can win your way to keeping the job at the end of a season. It's actually, someone likened it to Adam Gase having that streak at the end of his, I think it was either the first or second year with the Dolphins.
Yeah, we talked about it a few weeks ago. They made the playoffs with Matt Moore.
Right, and they weren't a good team. That was pretty much
the only time they made the playoffs since like Chad Pennington.
Right, they weren't a good team. They just had a soft schedule, so you kind of win your way into getting that extra year. I fired off a take, and then I actually, like, Dolphins fans, I had a long discussion with them yesterday, which people will be like, you like tweeting back and forth with people? I genuinely do love it, because I then went and dove in and tried to, like, understand it. I think that he probably rubbed some people the wrong way, and it was what all NFL firings kind of come down to is, like, Are you liked by the owner and the GM, and is the GM ingratiated himself to the owner? So it's like a power play. He lost the power play. I think he's a good X's and O's coach. You have to point out the fact that he had 3 different OCs in 3 years, and none of them got promoted. That's not great. Like if you're like, I would be fine with the Bears hiring him. I would want him to have a set plan offensively, because that does come under the coach. Like, even though he's a defensive coach, it's similar to Vic Fangio. Like, if you don't get the offense figured out, it still counts against you.
If you don't have a good enough offensive coordinator to get interviews somewhere else, it means that you just suck. That your offense is just awful.
Right. And
so you, even if you have a winning record as a defensive coach, you're still not going to have that same. You're not going to be regarded in the same way as if you're an offensive genius and you're winning the exact same amount of games.
Right. And Jake, you can chime in because you obviously are a Dolphins fan, but from everything I kind of understood from Dolphins fans is that it wasn't that they thought Brian Flores was this incredible coach. It's more that he was the best coach you guys have had in a very long time, and that's why it's disappointing.
Yeah, that's the thing. They have momentum right now that we've never seen. It's the first time they had back-to-back winning seasons since 2002-03.
That's crazy.
And for the Dolphins,
right,
that's a high bar.
Right.
So the fact that they actually had something going, and then Stephen Ross just yanked that, I think that's what people are upset about.
I think people need to realize that more and more, is that the people that own sports franchise, the person that owns your favorite team, is a pretty big idiot. Just like, the sooner you come to terms with that, the better. They're morons like everybody else. Like, think of the dumbest people that you work with. That is typically about the same IQ level as an NFL owner.
Which is a great segue to what the Bears are dealing with right now. I watched the entire press conference yesterday. George McCaskey, he was asked about his role, and he said he talked to the board, and they want him to stay in his role, which is literally means his mom still likes him.
Who else is on the board? How many? What are the percentages of people with the last name McCaskey?
He also said his Virginia, who's like 99, said she was very, very disappointed in the Bears season. So 2 veries, which this is all a replay of 2015, 2012, where they're just nothing is going to change. They have an accountant, Ted Phillips, running the organization, which, shout out to him. I hate him, but snake it till you make it. This is just a lesson for anyone in life. If you can figure out a big project that you can kind of keep pushing down the line, it's very hard to fire you. So he's obviously in charge of the Arlington Heights land purchase, and I think that will never happen because Ted Phillips knows as long as they're still negotiating it, he will still have a job.
No, that's actually brilliant advice.
Yes.
If you're the person that's got the long-term goal out there, then you almost make it, people are afraid to fire you because then they'd have to find somebody else to restart your project.
Right.
And also they've wasted so much money on you.
It's
that
genius.
They feel like they're a failure if they fire you.
Yes, but
so that is very smart.
Here's the good news. The Bears have a very good plan going forward. They hired 79-year-old Bill Polian to get paid probably $500,000 to run the coaching search.
I want to start a search firm, a coaching search firm. I would be so good at it. I would give you 8x10 pictures of Greg Williams, Greg Schiano.
Yep.
I would probably print out a picture of one of the Shula brothers.
Quote Bill Parcells.
Yeah, Bill Parcells. I'd learn, I'd have a binder of Bill Parcells quotes. I would get one of the Bowden boys in there, just to have somebody that you can say no to real early on in the process.
You can look down on.
Yeah, look down and be like, okay, so we know what we're not looking for now. So let's keep moving forward. It's the best racket of all time, and I think Polian's first move isn't he bringing in Jeff Ireland?
Well, this is so bad. I'm officially just giving up because it's, again, the only way the Bears can be fixed is Ted Phillips has to go and George McCaskey has to say, which it's crazy that he still says he doesn't know anything about football when his entire life has been football. Like, your family owns the Bears. It's your only job. It's literally your life is football. Maybe pop in an all-22 once in a while. I don't know. But either way, if he's still calling shots and Ted Phillips is there, nothing really matters. They hired Bill Polian. They also said, which is the dumbest thing you could possibly do, they said, we're going to look for a GM and a coach, but if the right coach comes, we'll hire the right coach before the GM. So Bill Polian is interviewing coaches right now and also kind of GMs, so you might hire a coach and then a guy to be the coach's kind of boss afterwards.
Okay, here's what's going to happen. Bill Polian is going to bring in one of his old friends. It's really a shame that John Fox probably won't be the coach again, because that was probably on page 1 for Bill Polian. It's just a sentence that says John Fox, period.
Yeah.
But Polian's probably going to bring in one of his buddies, interview that guy, and then they'll be like, hey, what if just the two of us did it? And then they hire themselves together. Bill Polian is now your general manager with the coach that helped select. They both kind of hired each other. Does that make sense?
Right. And
it's the old Dick Cheney looking for who George W. Bush's vice president is going to be. Oh, it's me.
I'm right here.
I'm the best guy.
Yeah, now that I've actually given you the criteria, I check all the boxes.
Yeah. He has to have huge pants, and he needs to steal food from ESPN.
Yeah,
Oh,
allegedly.
I got
but
you,
not.
guy.
Yeah. They did the same thing, though, in 2015. They got Ernie Corsi, who then hired John Fox. So nothing's going to change. It's all the same. I do want to push back on people who are like, Bill Polian knows, like, he was the architect of the Bills and the Colts and all these things. He knows so much football. At some point, it has to, he's probably not keeping up the same way he did when he was 50 years old.
Yeah, and also, he's the architect of the Colts. He drafted Peyton Manning.
Right.
His biggest career accomplishment is, I didn't take the other guy.
Yeah.
I took Peyton Manning. Good choice, Bill. I'm just going to ride that for the rest of my life. I had one good week of work in the last 30 years, and now I just get to coast off that. It's another great example of snake it till you make it, and then once you do happen to make it for a brief period of time, just ride that wave, baby.
Ride it forever.
And Bill's doing a good job of it. I think it's very funny what's going on in New York with the Giants situation. So Dave Gettleman retired.
Yep.
He chose to walk away.
Yep.
At the peak of his powers. He just figured it's time to ride off into the sunset after he's accomplished everything that he wanted to accomplish in the NFL. And it looks like Joe Judge is going to stick around. He did one of the famous, long-term planning meetings with the owner where you sit and you probably cry and you fight for your job and you give him your plan of what you're going to do for the next 3 to 5 years. And it looks like he's going to stick around. And then he said, I'd really like to be involved in the search for the general manager. So he's doing...
Why not?
He just promoted himself to, senior general manager.
Yes.
Who's in charge of hiring the GM, who's going to be in charge of coaching decisions. So that it's even better than the Bill O'Brien being general manager and head coach at the same time, where head coach Bill O'Brien can fire general manager Bill O'Brien and hire somebody else. In this circumstance, it's senior general manager Joe Judge will hire his own boss,
Genius.
but also then be able to fire potentially his own boss because he hired him.
I've come all the way around. I actually think the Giants, they don't have anything, but keeping Joe Judge actually makes sense this year, because I was thinking about it. You're going to hire a GM. You can pretend like you said, we'll let Joe Judge pretend that he's picking. You know what I mean? I imagine Joe Judge is going to be doing fake interviews, and they'll be like, "Oh, Joe, can you pass over your notes? Thank you." Then they throw it right in the trash. But if you're going to get the team sucks. It's got big time. The craziest part about the Giants is they spent all this money, so they're obviously the cap is crap, but they're right up against it. They don't have a lot of moves they can make. Why not keep Joe Judge, fire him midway through next season? The new GM can use Joe Judge as a cover and basically be like, all right, we've made a change. Joe Judge is gone. And then the new GM gets his new coach. That's what's going to happen.
That's a very smart thing to do.
Right. I've thought about it a lot because on paper, Joe Judge still having his job and Brian Flores losing his job is fucking crazy.
It is nuts.
But it makes sense because they're basically like, Joe, we don't want to pay someone else to then inherit no real up-and-coming candidate is going to say the Giants is a great job right now. Wait a year, get some draft picks, clean the slate,
I actually
then
do think,
fire him.
I do think that right now the Giants is a very attractive job if you're if you're aspiring general manager.
But for a coach,
the way
no.
that's the coach, no.
Because next year's going to suck.
Coach, no. But for a GM, absolutely.
Yes.
Because you do have some draft picks this year.
Yep, two.
That you're stepping
Two
into.
in the top 10.
Two in the top 10. And then you have the perfect scapegoat in Joe Judge. Nobody expects anything out of Joe Judge next year.
Right. That's smart, right?
Yeah,
He's like a human shield.
Yes, you need a human shield. It's like if a coach takes over a quarterback situation where it's like somebody that you just recently drafted and you've got all these expectations, but they stink in their second year, a coach can then immediately hit the reset button, either by trading for a quarterback or drafting another one if you're a new coach. You've got another 2 years extension.
Right.
Actually, firing Joe Judge would be the most popular personnel decision that the Giants have done in years.
Exactly. You basically are giving it's basically the free box in a bingo card is what you're handing the GM.
Yeah, people are going to love you.
You get to show up. You get to go through the first 2 months of the season, have the Giants suck, then fire Joe Judge, and everyone's like, thank God he's cleaning house.
The problem with the Giants is I feel like Mr. Mara, the Mara family, is constantly looking for another Tom Coughlin.
Yeah.
They just want they hired Joe Judge to be their younger version of Tom Coughlin, which is basically saying like we want an asshole.
Right.
We want an asshole that happens to also be good at coaching football. But the problem is like if you're going to be an asshole, you have to be an asshole that has a track record of success
Yes.
in the NFL. But you can't really be an asshole before you become a good coach.
Every Belichick disciple.
You can turn into an asshole afterwards,
Right.
but it's usually not a prerequisite for everybody to hate you before you get good, which is, it seems like the most basic, like human interaction piece of advice that you can ever have. It's second nature, right? Like you
friends.
You make friends first, and then you can do whatever after you start doing good stuff.
The Dolphins situation, I read this article that I'm always obviously skeptical after a coach gets fired who's putting everything in the media, but it was very fair and like right down the middle. And they essentially said, what's his first name? Greer. Chris Greer, the GM for the Dolphins. They're like, why has Chris Greer been able to hang around through Adam Gase and Brian Flores and all these changes? And it's like, because he's very deferential and he shows Stephen Ross a ton of respect. He's a suck-up. Like, sometimes you got to be a suck-up in your job.
I mean, Vinny Serrato was the general manager and senior legal counsel for the Washington football team for the Redskins for, I want to say, like 14 years. And the only time he ever got fired was one time Marty Schottenheimer was like, this guy sucks and he's a football dumbass, so I'm going to fire him for a year. Then Schottenheimer got fired so that they could rehire Serrato. But Serrato's job was essentially to just get beaten by Dan Snyder in racquetball.
This is Ted Phillips that we're talking about. It's full circle. There's always one of these guys in every organization.
Just let the owner kick your ass in racquetball or golf, whatever sport that he plays. Laugh at all his jokes. Make sure he has his nice cigars that he likes. Cover up any sort of sexual harassment claims that he's got going under the rug. And then you will have a job for life as being like the football Rasputin, the second in command of any franchise.
It's really hard to fire your friend.
Yep.
That's what we've learned in the NFL. But it's the Giants, it will be interesting. There's 4 jobs open. It feels like Pete Carroll, the Seahawks would be so smart to just bring Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson back.
They are.
Be like, it has to happen. You're better with these two guys than like 80% of the league.
Right, but that's all they're going to do this offseason. They're going to say, you know what? These two guys are coming back. We've got our quarterback, got our coach, so we'll be fine. We'll just roll the dice with these guys again, and then they just won't do anything to address any other positions of need whatsoever.
But I still would rather that than break up those guys because we see it. You end up in football purgatory with revolving doors, and there's a lot of franchises you can say that about. The Bears are definitely one of them. The Giants are one of them where you just lose your way, and it's like a never-ending cycle. So, okay, should we do Hot Seat, Cool Throne?
Let's do it.
All right, Hot Seat, Cool Throne brought to you by Wood. Introducing Wood, a new men's grooming line offering products across hair, body, beard, and shave. Wood is for those who dare to try new things and are always planning their next adventure. Wood works and smells as good as it looks. Wood is, I actually got it, so Barstool's created this. It's a great product. I have it in my shower now. I use the moisturizer, the hair care. They have deodorant, facial cleanser, body, beard care, and more. Golden Hour, Summer House, and Fresh Tracks with the scents. Wood is going to be available at getwood.com or all your local CVS's. So check it out. Hashtag for those who would. I'm washing my hair with Wood now. It's never been cleaner. It's never smelt and been fresher. So go check it out right now at getwood.com. That's WOULD.com or at your local CVS. Okay. Hank is out with the cocoa. Liam, do you have a hot seat, cool throne?
Yes, I have both.
Okay, let's go.
All right. My hot seat is Jim Jones, the rapper from New York, Dipset. Not
Yeah.
the. Isn't there like a cult
Yeah,
leader?
no, I
Yeah,
know.
Dipset.
Yeah,
Dipset's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
Not
Jim
the cult
Jones.
leader one.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, in a interview with the Breakfast Club recently, he claimed that he learned how to tongue kiss from his mom,
Oh,
Okay.
and it was very awkward where they kind of didn't keep going with it.
bonk.
that's
That was a bonk, yeah. It was
That's a major bonk.
kind
Wow.
of early guys on chicks.
Oedipus.
Yeah. Did he kill his dad?
Damn.
I don't know.
I mean, I
Hope
guess.
not.
Yeah, that's a lot to digest there.
Yeah, I don't really know.
I didn't know if he had a take on it.
I don't.
My take is that it's weird.
Yeah.
Did it like he kissed his mom or his mom?
I don't know.
Taught
that's,
him how to.
That's what they didn't ask. Like, I don't know if it was just
Yeah, maybe it was just
verbally.
It's showing.
It's like slightly less weird if his mom's like, you put your tongue into the girl's mouth,
and that's kind of it.
and that's it.
That's the
yeah.
lesson. And then you kind of move it around a little bit, not too fast, not too slow.
So, yeah, this is fucked up.
Yeah, really fucked
I
up.
feel very uncomfortable right now.
Okay, your cool throne.
All right, my cool throne is Avril Lavigne.
All right.
Is she alive?
Yes, and she had a what is it called? She had like a cover like story written on her, and I believe it was Bazaar or like one of those.
Okay.
And she posted on Instagram like who wants a new song, and people are saying she's gonna put out a new album, which
Wow.
I don't think she has.
Okay.
Like,
Avril's back.
So
Forever.
I'm pumped about this for one
Me
reason. I saw her on New Year's Eve for a little bit. I was flipping back and forth between her and Miley, and her performance. She did Skater
switching
Boy.
back and forth.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But she did a performance Skater Boy, Travis Barker on the drums. If Travis Barker plays drums on this new album, I'm all in because
Yes.
whatever he does, he's somehow like the best songwriting drummer where he makes any band or any act that he plays with that much better. And we're also trying to get him on a song for Pup Punk. So Travis,
You're the
him
man, dog.
play with Pup Punk.
Yes. All right, good job, Bubba.
Thank you.
PFT, your hot seat cool throne.
My hot seat is New York Times crossword puzzles
Oh.
because people are playing Wordle now.
Wordle.
And I don't know what the fuck Wordle is. I've reached a point where I've seen so many people tweeting about it and talking about it that now I hate the people that are talking about it because I haven't done it yet. And so now I just might be an anti-Wordle guy.
I tried to download it and I forgot my Apple password, so then I stopped.
Okay, you want to be
And that was it.
anti-Wordle?
I'm in.
Okay, fuck
100%.
Wordle. Fuck these
100%.
nerds with your green dots.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm
I've
a
been doing
crossword
it.
guy.
I've been doing it, and they have a colorblind version, and then I just fucking got roasted for it immediately when I posted it. It's like it looks like it's like night mode almost.
Wow,
Like it's in
progressive
black.
Wordle.
Explain it to me. Like, pretend like I'm an idiot.
So you have to. It gives you. It's like 5-letter words where you guess, and then if it's the
Bitch.
letter, yeah, like that would be one.
Okay.
And then it tells you if the letter is in the right space or if it's like in the word, and then you just keep guessing as it goes.
Oh, that sounds stupid.
You guys ever play Mastermind, the
Wordle.
board game with the colored pegs?
I don't like anything that's supposed to
Similar to
sharpen
that.
my mind. I'd like to just have my mind get duller and duller.
Yeah, that's why I watch TV.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need to read first thing in the morning.
All right,
out.
your cool throne.
My cool throne is starting wars in the Middle East
Oh,
because the New Yorker is a nice light one.
okay, nice.
The New
Wordle to wars.
The New Yorker is it's a 4-letter country. It starts with the letter I. Who are we going to bomb next? If you guessed Iran, you are correct. The New Yorker is writing an article just being like, "Hey, heads up, Iran, they're going to attack, so we better start a war over there real quick, pronto, and take care of that regime." As if we haven't lived through the last 20 years of existence on planet Earth.
Well, it's like the day like a 60-year-old retires and they're like, "What do I do with my life? I worked all my life. I was at war all my life.
Yeah, I
got to go back to war.
You got to find something else. Listen,
Brooks was here.
It's funny how we keep doing the exact same thing over and over and over again.
It'll be different.
It'll be different this time. You know what? We're going to be greeted as liberators over there. You know what it is? It like starting another war in the Middle East. It is like another team hiring Adam Gase and being like, you know what? We feel like this time he's
gotta
really
be different.
He's shown a lot of growth. He had some bad setups in the past, some
He was
bad
with Peyton
environments.
Manning.
He was with Peyton Manning. Remember, he had that great season.
Yep.
Yeah,
I love it. All you got to do is eat McDonald's and blue jeans.
Exactly. That's us saying, remember the first Iraq War? We won that in 2 weeks. That was awesome. Had a great team around him. General Schwarzkopf. We're going back to the war in the Middle East. So that's
sick. All right. My hot seat is Colts fans because not only on Monday night was it in Indianapolis, you could actually see the faint Colts logo at midfield, and then the day after, your season falls apart against the 2-14 Jackson Jaguars. Did they win 3 games? 3-14 Jacksonville Jaguars. Carson Wentz shits down his leg, and then Andrew Luck shows up out of nowhere, and he goes on with RG3, and that had to suck so fucking bad to be like, oh, all of our life's problems can be fixed by this guy who just showed up on TV.
But he doesn't even want to be there.
Yeah, right.
He looked like he's lost about 70 pounds.
Oh my god.
I actually don't think that Andrew Luck has picked up a football in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And he looks really happy.
But it was right there. It was right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's right in your face. You're trying to just drown your sorrows, and Andrew Luck shows up looking happy as could be. And Andrew Luck does not lose that game.
No.
He doesn't.
No, he does not.
He does not.
People forget Andrew Luck was a very, very good quarterback.
Yes.
Even though Hank would probably dispute that. I think he's one of the guys that Hank hates, right?
Yeah, there's a list.
Yeah, I run it.
All right, my cool throne is Billy, because when Bill Polian was announced that he was hired by the Bears, I went and looked and tried to see his worst takes. Everyone knows the Lamar Jackson take, but he actually said about that 2017, or that was the 2018 draft. He said about the 2017 draft, the Mitch Trubisky draft, former Bills GM Bill Polian says Chad Kelly is the most talented QB in 2017 NFL draft. So Billy is running the Bears.
Well, have you seen Ryan Pace?
Yeah.
No, there's some picture that someone tagged me in where Ryan Pace, I had to do a double check. I thought it was me.
I would rather you be running the Bears. No joke. And that's not.
We'd have fun with it.
Yeah, no, at least we'd be doing some out of the box things.
Usually high effort.
You would just hire the Iowa strength coach that Urban Meyer hired.
Great.
Yeah.
Who cares?
We're just going to be
something different.
We're going to be the strongest team.
But it's great to see that that's the guy they hired. That's your take, Chad Kelly, most talented guy. Yeah. And then also my cool throne is Game of the Year, 2-0, 2022. It is thrilling. I would strongly recommend everyone do a Game of the Year or multiple, because it feels extra special when you have that much on the line.
feel like Game of the Year. I don't want to do a game because that's your thing. I would do like a game.
We did the Dream Game, which I told you Billy fucked you up with the pills. It was just reversed.
No, but my score was perfect.
I'm saying though, you were if you had just reversed it, Georgia.
The point total was perfect. I'm not going to do a Game of the Year. Dream Game is different, very different for you. That's just like something shows up in your subconscious and instructs you about something. I would do
the pills though.
I would do a Game of the decade.
I've done the Game of the Century.
Game of the Century.
Yeah. There's Game of Millennium.
You did a Game of the Century?
I've done a Game of I think I did a Game of the Decade last year or the year before. I know Stu Feiner does Game of the Centuries once every couple of weeks. So
I might do Game of a Lifetime.
Game of the Millennium.
Goal.
Yeah, you can just keep going with it. It's fun.
When's the next Game of the Year?
I gotta look. Probably the next couple of weeks, if we're being honest. I'll probably end up with about 25 to 30 Game of the Years this year. I mean, it's January. I'm already got 2. So I'm on pace for 48. 48, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Averaging 1 a week. We're in the second week of January. All right, what's your hot seat cool throne, Billy?
My hot seat is Pokemon Go. 2 police officers were arrested for, instead of responding to a robbery in progress, they decided to go hunt Snorlax on their Pokemon Go app instead of responding to a crime
Did they get him, though?
Yes.
They got Snorlax.
They did.
Good.
It's kind of worth it.
Yeah, mission accomplished.
And they both got fired.
Why?
Oh. Snorlax didn't do anything for him?
I didn't even know that people were honestly still playing Pokemon Go.
That was
2016.
It was also the most blatant, we're just going to take pictures of your house.
Yeah, everybody turn this camera on and videotape the inside of your house and then send it to China.
Yeah, point it at all of your surroundings and neighborhoods so that we can Google map everything from the ground.
Mm-hmm.
This is totally fine.
But the fucking Pokemon showed up on your phone in your house.
It was cool.
It was very cool.
It was cool. And your cool throne?
My cool throne is the Turkmenistan Gates of Hell.
Okay.
Yes.
Are we invading them?
No, but it is basically a pit that's been burning since they discovered it. They think Soviet scientists might have done it. Turkmenistan has once again tried to extinguish the gates of hell, and they have not been able to.
It's just a mystery fire underground.
It's just a hole that is burning. That's not a volcano. That is just burning gas.
Sounds like hell. Sounds like they discovered hell.
Exactly.
It's like the eternal flame.
Wasn't there a fire in Pennsylvania that lasted for like 70 years? An underground fire?
Sure.
I'm pretty sure there was. It might still be going to this very day.
That sounds like something that
Another gate
can't
of hell?
really be fact checked. That I think you just gotta spin it as a positive. And
Yeah.
just be like, this is the home of the longest burning fire. in
Longest burning
America.
fire ever, yeah.
Yeah.
My other cool throne is the Northeast because it's pretty fucking cold.
Yeah, it was cold
It is.
today. It was windy. It was cold.
20 degrees.
Yeah, winter sucks.
Historically cold.
Winter sucks, but guess what? We still have like 5 more weeks of football. So that is the positive to week 18 is it doesn't even like I always get a little sad after divisional round because you're like, oh shit, there's only 3 more games.
I start to get upset when we no longer have Saturday football.
Right. So we have 2 more weeks of that to get us through January. Mm-hmm. All right.
Oh,
Jake,
yeah. The fire has been burning since 1962 in Centralia.
There we go.
Still going right now.
It's a sick fire.
My hot seat is Dick's Sporting Goods. So
Okay.
they tweeted out 10 p.m. on the dot, Georgia champions. They were right, so their employees are now on the cool throne. But if they lost, that could have been a big issue.
I'm woke. I feel like that was just a genius plan to get people to talk about Dick's Sporting Goods.
Hey.
Right?
Here we are.
Like that. Every account should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's genius.
Like what's it? Michael Rubin is like putting them out of business
Yeah.
single-handedly.
We should reminder memes. Let's make sure we do that for the Super Bowl. So in like the beginning of the third quarter, tweet out from Pardon My Take, congrats to fill in the blank team with fake shirts.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, that will be great. We will. That will.
I like that idea.
And people will own us.
Publicity.
But everyone who's listening right now will know. Wink, wink.
Or what we can also do is, like right after Championship Sunday, schedule a tweet for 12 hours later and be like, congratulations to whoever loses that game. So if the Kansas City Chiefs lose the AFC Championship game, congrats to the Kansas City Chiefs for going to another Super Bowl, and then put up a shirt of the Chiefs. And everybody be like, oh, when scheduling tweets goes wrong.
Yeah.
And then sweet interactions.
Yes.
Then we profit.
We got
I like
this.
the idea.
Also, maybe schedule a tweet of Jason Derulo falling down those stairs. If we're just doing it right now,
That's always a
just
winner.
Put that in there. All right.
My cool throne is Masters commercials. They made their
Yes.
debut last night during the broadcast.
Oh, no.
No, Jake.
Oh, no.
Jake.
They made their debut on New Year's Day
Yeah.
for the Rose Bowl.
Okay.
It was during
no.
It was during the Rose Bowl.
I was flying.
It was.
This
It was.
again?
Here we go
Jake,
again.
No, Jake.
My other cool
Jake,
throne
no.
is Kellen Mond.
Face the music, Jake.
Jay.
The sun was going down.
They
in
made their
Pasadena.
debut in
I
my
even
eyes.
tweeted about it. I said this is
The
pretty
Masters
early for
commercial.
Masters.
They made their debut in my eyes.
Oh,
I
no.
apologize.
Jake.
There we go.
Jake
Deja
Broussard.
Damn
vu.
it.
Oh my
2022
God.
is not your year.
It really isn't
What a
so far.
colossal
Have
fuck
you-
up.
Are you going through it right now?
There's a lot going on, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a notes app will fix it tomorrow.
Again?
I know.
Yeah, I mean, the people need a notes app when you fuck up. We need it.
They made their debut on the show.
What do you mean?
The topic, Masters commercials.
Right now.
Okay.
You
but
just
that's-
made their debut.
No.
Okay, I apologize.
I remember tweeting about it, being like, it's way too early for Masters commercials during the Rose Bowl.
It's just crazy that
Yeah, I know. It's
the only person that we can trust on the bench mob is Marty.
he's
No,
the
you
last
can't.
one.
No, you can't.
The last
No, you
bastion
can't.
of integrity.
Before we judge Jake, I think we should COVID test him to make sure he doesn't have COVID brain.
Oh, don't
I think
do
it's
that
only
to him.
fair.
Now he's going to be
I think-
nervous all day.
I think that's only fair.
Don't do that. He's going to be an anxious wreck.
My other cool throne are journalists. They got their shrimp last night.
Yeah,
the timeline was
so
flooded
great.
with shrimp.
All of them tweeting at the exact same time. I love Big J journalists. They act like they've never seen food before.
Well, it's-
Every time there's food.
It's also in Indianapolis. We know, like we've had the shrimp before. It's big shrimp and it's kind of spicy.
yeah, the cocktail
But-
sauce is what's really good.
But they freak out about shrimp every
Yeah.
time they see it. Like during the combine, you'll see a million tweets from newspaper guys that are up there and be like, "Holy crap, the shrimp is here!" First of all, where are you getting your shrimp in Indiana from? Where do we know? Is that
I was just gonna say, like, why is it good there?
Shipping's
it's
fast.
probably the farthest away from any actual natural shrimp location of any place in the United States.
It is just. I love like if you're an owner of a team or you own a stadium, why wouldn't you just go balls to the wall every time? Because journalists will always talk nicely about you.
Here's what you need. You need a shrimp cocktail. You need ice cream sandwiches or an ice cream selection for afterwards.
You need a
Diet Coke,
refrigerator.
just filled to the brim with Diet Coke, and then you need like hologram Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, don't forget, very important. You need a cutting board. You need some meat being cut. You need some either some steak, some brisket, whatever it may be. But you need the carving station because they fucking love a carving station.
It can be the worst meat in the world.
Yeah.
But if you carve it,
Just
if
there.
it's hand carved, then they'll be like, oh, this is luxury.
Damn, this is incredible. All right, let's get to John Cena. Good job, Jake.
Thank you. Apologies
make a
once
huge
again
mistake.
to the AWLs. Here we go.
I await the notes app. All right, before we get to John Cena, Cross Country Mortgage. Football players make football plays, but they also make plays off the field. Like the experts over at Cross Country Mortgage, they might not be doing or they might not be doling out concussions or breaking bones, but they're dedicated to doing whatever it takes to get you in the home of your dreams. Cross Country Mortgage has a team of loan officers dedicated to getting it done and finding you the best possible loan terms available. They have an average close time of 21 days, which is crazy fast. They got a wide variety of loan types, which means they've got everything to cover everyone with huge variety of products. They cover everything from renovations to refis and everything in between. So go with the players that will make the plays for you when you're buying a home. Cross Country Mortgage is dedicated to getting it done for you. Go to crosscountrymortgage.com. /Barstool. Cross Country Mortgage can take care of you through the home buying process. Cross Country Mortgage LLC, NMLS 3029. All loans subject to underwriting approval. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Okay, here he is, John Cena.
Yo.
What's happened?
What's going on? Good to see you.
Nice situation you guys got there. You got a power rack in the back?
Yeah,
we got some. You bench?
So yeah, last time you were on, we were in our old office. We're in our new studio now. It's too bad we could have benched together.
It's not a bench day for me. It's more of a compound movement day, but I appreciate it.
Okay.
What are you doing? Deadlifts?
Good in there. I'm gonna try to do some snatch.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Little ollie weightlifting.
I was just trying to pursue a more perfect snatch technique.
Let's go. All right, you good to go?
Sure am.
All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we now welcome on our very good friend, John Cena. Go to HBO Max on January 13th. Peacemaker is going to be out. The first 3 episodes are out on January 13th, and then every week after that until the middle of February, new show. It's going to be awesome. I'm very excited. And you're in the Peacemaker outfit right now, which
Let's make some peace.
Oh,
damn!
You got the gloves on too.
Yeah. Should see below my waist.
Well, let's start with that. So I saw the let's go right to it. I saw the trailer. You're dancing in your underwear. You said you were self-conscious. How is John Cena self-conscious when you are a Greek god?
Well, you need to get an eye exam. Step 1. 2, all of us are flawed guys, and all of us. If you're not nervous and you don't have fear in your life, you may have to see a mental professional about that. I can't sing, I can't dance, and my first day of shooting in front of 70 strangers, even with COVID safety protocols, I'm in tidy whities. So I'm told to do 2 things I'm really new and not proficient at and not any good at, and do it with pretty much showing my junk to the world. I was nervous about that. I was hella nervous, but that was our first day, and hats off to James Gunn for doing it for day 1, because we kind of set the tone to just have some fun, and it really set the tone on what the series was about.
Yeah, did you get to give him any notes on that? Like, hey, maybe I can wear cargo shorts and dance. I'd feel more comfortable if I had.
I certainly would feel comfortable in cargo shorts or jorts, but I don't know if he's in the note taking business, and I'm not in the note giving business. So I was told tidy whities, so I brought my small piece to the table, and we made some peace.
I like that he did that on the first day. It's kind of like Hoosiers when they practice without a ball. Everything's easier after that, where it's like
honestly, it was, and it got the crew laughing. Like, nobody really knows anybody. So when you assemble a crew for a 120-day shoot, you're going to develop relationships over that time, and to do that first, and to see one of the lead characters be able to just let let everything hang out. I think it just took the edge off, and we had a great shoot. It was really, really fun.
Mm-hmm. Growing up, were you a comic book guy? Did you used to read them back in the day?
No, I wasn't. I was a wrestling guy. Like, I loved wrestling. Those are my superheroes. So I really wasn't a comic book guy. And the whole universe, when like when the first Batman, the Michael Keaton Batman came out, of course, I was riveted by that. I've always loved Batman because of the gadgets, even the Adam West Batmobile, but like nothing really too serious. No.
Okay, so you're a bona fide A-lister. You can do anything you want. You know, you've made a ton of money. You've acted.
This is hypothetical, right? We're
not. No, this is all real. You've written books. Yeah, you've written books. You have a hit album, which I loved. I wish you would rap some more. What made you want to do this show, though? Like, what's the process that says, oh, this is actually something I want to do? Because I'd imagine you are a guy at this point in your career, you can do literally anything.
Well, you know, our perception of other people's worlds is sometimes amazing. James Gunn, I got to work with him on the Suicide Squad, and I got to see how fantastic he is. He's such an amazing storyteller, and he also has a no asshole rule, and he puts together teams of people who there's not a bad apple in the bunch. So, you know, like I said, these are long shoots, and if you have somebody with a bad attitude, that can seep through to anybody on set. So I liked the fact that I knew I was going to be surrounded by good people. I knew I was going to be surrounded by a professional that made me better. And I knew James was going to put together a cast of the best people it could possibly get. So I figured it could go, it was going to be a great experience either way.
Yeah, great.
I mean, that sounds, I mean, like I said, it's got to be nice to be John Cena at this point. Is there a specific thing that you haven't done that you want to do that you're like, I mean, you've done, like I said, yeah, I know you're humble, but I'll be not humble for you. You have done it all, and you've done it all well. Is there something that you want to do that you have your eye on? You're like, you know what, it'd be really cool to do this because I'm John Cena.
You know, I'll shave the last half off of that question. I don't know any other way to live. I mean, I'm myself, so I live every day as me. A
superhero.
I try to work on empathy, so I try to see things through other people's eyes, and I appreciate the kind words. I guess the answer is just something I love, and I don't know what that is. Right now, it's definitely storytelling. And I don't seek out like this role would be great. I read a lot of scripts. And if I read it and I'm riveted by it, I know that I can contribute to it. And I don't need to be the lead. It could be a very small role. I just finished a very small role in a movie called The Independent, where the script was riveting and it was intriguing to me. So, and that's a role that it's not this, and it's not adult comedy. Like it's a dramatic role, and I was just riveted by the stories, and I didn't search that out. It just, hey, read the script and tell me what you think. So that's kind of how all of this stuff happens. I love to read, and if I'm riveted by the story, I know I'm passionate about it. If I'm passionate about it, I know I'm going to give my all to it.
Quick side question: when you read a script, do you count that as reading a book? Like at the end of the year, when you're like, I read 10 books.
Nope.
You should. Just a little tip there.
Okay. The only person keeping score on that one's really me. Mm-hmm. So, but I will.
Okay.
What about if you listen to a book?
I haven't yet explored listening to a book. What's your guys' take on that?
Audiobooks. There's a really good one out there called Goodell vs. Obama, but I'm not really a big audiobook guy. But I do count it though. At the end of the year, like Big Cat's saying, I think if you read like a pamphlet that's 4 pages long, that counts as a book. If you read the back of 4 different types of cereal boxes.
If you have to sign a lease, and you just like peruse it. Yeah, if you like peruse the legalese.
I would imagine your cell phone provider or like a phone privacy agreement. That definitely counts.
Yeah, when you download a game and they say like, hey, we're taking all of your information and using it against you, that's a book.
Or if you were to watch any recurring series on Netflix or on Hulu or anything like that, HBO Max.
Or like HBO Max.
Yeah,
like
if you were to
watch Peacemaker on HBO Max.
If you watch Peacemaker on HBO Max and you put the subtitles on, that counts as a book. Each episode counts as a book.
Once again, to this fictitious scorecard that nobody cares about but us. I'm going to count all of it.
People care.
Yeah, no, you
people
got
care.
That. What's the point of reading if you're not going to flex on somebody at the end of the year and be like, I read more books than you this year?
I don't know. Maybe learning something. Who knows? I don't know.
Come on.
So, it sounds like from the tone of this conversation, how you're working on yourself and looking forward to trying new challenges, we can safely say that the professor of thugonomics is not coming back.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true. I kind of over the years, you've actually seen more of the good doctor of thugonomics than over like the past 10 years. The appearance in the Firefly Funhouse match, the appearance at WrestleMania with Elias. It's almost like that character has taken on a sense of nostalgia itself. So when it shows up, it's it's a thing that gets people excited. So I never say never, dude. I'm doing an interview in full Peacemaker.
Yeah.
True.
What is?
I love that album. I used to play it in college. It was the fastest
Thank you.
way to get chicks to want to leave a party. Is you just
Thank you
pop
very
on the
much.
John
That's
Cena
what I'm going
album
for.
at like
Yeah.
2 a.m. They're like, why are these guys putting their hands in front of their face and screaming lyrics at us?
By the way, little did they know that would be the basis of a lot of meme culture years to come.
True.
They didn't know what a meme was. It's in their defense, they didn't know what a meme was.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I think my favorite phrase that you ever had was tough to bring down like an overweight running back. That's like a nod to Mike Allstott. I thought that you were talking about
Or Ironhead Hayward or Christian Okoye,
Yeah.
any of those.
Mike
guys.
Tolbert.
the fullbacks. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mike Tolbert, legendary goal line
Bathman.
running
Yeah.
back. I actually made a remix of one of your songs back in 2014, "Make It Loud." I just took "Make It Loud" and I spliced in you announcing that we've killed Osama bin Laden throughout the song just to make it a little bit more patriotic. I dialed it up a little bit for you.
All right, that is a take.
Yeah, if you look back on your career is saying like we have just compromised to the fullest extent Osama bin Laden, is that maybe like a highlight? Because you had to think of that on the spot, and I've never heard somebody use a phrase like compromise to the fullest extent. But when you said it, I was like, that's fucking cool.
I think you may have a paraphrase instead of a quote.
Oh,
I think
Okay.
maybe to a permanent end.
To a permanent
That's
end,
badass.
yes, that's even cooler.
yes.
So that was a big piece of news, and it just happened. And I was being fed the news live, and we were at a pay-per-view in the DC area. And we're talking, this is a piece of news that shook the United States to its very core with the events of 9/11. And I thought it was something that people should know, and that they I know this information now. I'm in front of this audience. They should know this. And I just tried to think of a way to convey the message to make it as digestible as possible. And that's what popped into my head. I wanted people not to find out when they got home.
Right.
I thought that event and that moment in time was so impactful that I wanted the people to know right there. And that's just I tried the best I could to convey that message. I'm glad you remember it in paraphrase form. I appreciate it. It means it affected your life in some way, but I just tried the best I could to do it.
It's an all-time moment. It's an all-time moment. It's got to be an all-time thrill that, like, we joke about breaking news to people. There's something about that's a rush. Breaking that type of news to a stadium of people has got to be a career highlight. Obviously there's things you actually did, but like that's got to be one of the things that you remember most vividly, I would imagine.
Well, certainly to be in a position where people pay attention to your message.
Right.
I mean, that's there's no doubt that like I said, that's a moment that had a ton of gravity, which is why, and I didn't do it for the broadcast. I thought we were off air. So I just literally did it for the people in arena, because if we're on the broadcast, you can click and find the news elsewhere. So I just really did it for the live people in the arena that may not have instant access to that piece of information.
Wow, crazy.
So I don't know if you remember, to go a little lighter route. I don't even know if you remember when you came in and we interviewed you the first time. Do you? You've done so many interviews. It's okay. We're forgettable.
It was in your like you said, your old offices, all white offices. We were pretty much in like a closet phone booth corner with you guys, right?
Yep.
And was there 3 of you then?
Yeah, 3 of us in the room, probably maybe
3
4.
of us in the room. But
yeah,
the part that I'm hoping you remember, and I'm hoping you think about all the time, is my belly button, because you saw my belly button, how deep it was, and you wanted to risk it all. I don't know.
You know how we have experiences in our life that we're not brave enough to revisit, so we just black out.
Mm-hmm.
And like it takes concentrated, dedicated therapy. You just uncovered that experience for me. Whether I'm ready for it or not, I don't know, but I feel like I may have to go to the bathroom and cry at the same time, and somehow I'll be moved in an emotional way. Yeah, you got a deep belly button.
I got a very deep belly button, and you gave it a sup with your eyes.
I assessed your anatomy. I did.
All right.
You're revealing yourself to me. I did look at you.
Yes. You look deep inside my butt. It's more sensual than looking deep into someone's eyes. Looking into the crevices of their belly button, the cavernous belly button.
Yes, their former feeding tube.
Yes. Well, yeah, if you want to put it that way.
We're going to get back to John Cena in a second, but before we do, HelloFresh is here to tell you about their farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. I tried HelloFresh a few weeks ago. It is delicious. They give you great food, high-quality ingredients. They make it really easy, too. There's some meal prep companies that send you stuff, and it takes you an hour and a half to cook. You don't have time to do that during your busy life. Use HelloFresh. It's so much easier. The new year is a great time to focus on what's most important to you. It could be saving money by ordering less takeout. It could be learning to cook or prioritize your wellness. HelloFresh is here to help with endless options to make cooking at home simple and enjoyable. They've got quick and easy meals, including 20-minute recipes. They have low prep and easy cleanup options that provide an even faster route to putting food on your table. I love easy cleanup. That's the worst part about cooking, I think. I don't have a problem with prepping. I don't have a problem with cooking. I got a problem with the cleanup. I hate cleaning up. It seems so anticlimactic after you've eaten your delicious meal. Well, they have even faster ways to clean up, and they have low prep options as well. It's 72% cheaper than a restaurant meal of the same quality, and you can save on average over $65 a month when you order HelloFresh instead of grocery shopping. That's more money to put towards your other goals. So check it out right now. Go to HelloFresh.com/PMT16. Use promo code PMT16. Get up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. That's HelloFresh.com/PMT16. Free meals and 3 free gifts. Now here's more John Cena.
Go ahead.
I got a question. This is kind of a headline grab, so we're going to try to get you in the news.
This one should be great.
Yeah, no, it's going to be excellent. It's going to be wonderful. Get people buzzing about the new series on HBO Max, Peacemaker. Check it out right now. Binge watch it. Read a book while you're doing it. Whose side are you taking?
Make sure the subtitles are on.
Make sure, yes. Otherwise, it doesn't count as a book. Otherwise, you're just looking at a book, not reading it.
Yep.
Whose side do you take? Vin Diesel or The Rock?
Oh, I don't think that story is about taking sides. I think that story is about hearing everybody's perspective. And it's a story where me, as a fan of the franchise, I'd love the franchise to get together for this last run. You know, I hope they call me to be in it. But when someone says professionally they want to go in another direction, if you say anything other than okay, it's their professional opinion to make the choices they want. And I think that's very brave and very honest. So I think Vin's perspective has a lot of gravity and honesty. And I think Dwayne's perspective has a lot of gravity and honesty. And I think this is, man, if we could just stop taking sides, just take a second.
This is very mature of you.
To hear everybody. These are both two amazingly successful superstars, people who have crafted their own existence and are just globally adored. And, Vin's been the father of the Fast franchise. He's coming in on his 10th installment. Dwayne is started as the most electrifying sports entertainer in the history of sports entertainment, and he's now in his own universe. So I guess it's just about understanding where each guy's coming from. That's all.
It's a very mature answer. I'm trying to get headlines, and you're doing a very good job of answering it like an adult. Would you rather drink Coronas with Vin Diesel or tequila with The Rock?
So straight spirits are tough. They make a night quick. And I've always really wanted, because I'm a fan of the Fast franchise, I've always really wanted to be invited to a barbecue. And I know I have to be grateful for what I have and not for what I want. And being invited into the Fast franchise, especially to play at Toretto, man, that's an honor. But damn it, I was pissed when I wasn't in the barbecue because I've always wanted to be in a Fast barbecue. That symbol of family and camaraderie at the end when everybody's drinking, it's just I wanted to be involved. So because for that reason alone, and the fact that spirits get you there quicker. So, and I've seen Rock, he chugs tequila. I don't know if I could go match for match with him. I think he just put me under the fence. So maybe I'd stick to a Fast barbecue.
Okay, good answer. I have another headline grab.
Oh, boy.
You recently died from COVID. What was that like?
Well, I would ask the person that wrote that piece of information. It's apparently they really make good animatronic robots. It's more than the Hall of the President stuff. I mean, look at this. This looks really real. So I think that's a great exercise in fact-checking articles.
Yes.
Did you think that you were dead?
We all need to do
Yes.
out there.
Yes. Yeah. What was your what went? I mean, for people who don't know, there was just one of those stupid internet rumors that John Cena died from COVID. That's got to piss you off a little bit.
No, it doesn't. Honestly, if anything, it just when someone it's weird that you can take a piece of information like that and say stupid internet rumor. I wish more people would have a perspective to cross-check and fact-check and dive deeper for truthful information, because there's so many things out there that might fall into the classification of stupid internet rumors. But when it's something as silly as that we know isn't true now because I'm speaking to you in real time on this show, I think it's a nice exercise into don't believe everything you read.
Was there a small part of you that wanted to just kind of go along with it for a day just to get some of the tributes out there, just so you can see all the nice things people might say and then be like, ta-da.
A small part of me that wanted to end my existence? The answer to that is a resounding no. I love the gift of life, and I want to have the gift as long as I possibly can. So no.
Not to end your existence, but to just kind of not say anything about the rumor being fake for a day.
What and where is the good in that?
I guess
people would just be like,
John
Cena.
I love John Cena. He's such a great guy.
Remember that time? People would share anecdotes. Like I would have tweeted, remember that time John Cena wanted to fuck my belly button? Man, I miss that guy.
I know you guys are trying to have some fun. I just lost a really close friend 2 days ago.
Oh shit.
And, no, that's cool. So when I say something like that and you take the smile off your face, loss is a really tough thing. And trust me, I'll joke about a lot of stuff, especially if you watch Peacemaker. I'll joke about a ton of stuff. But if you're trying to get headline grabs, I don't think, especially at this point, at any point, the fragile nature of human life is a headline to grab. So I know what you're trying to do. I can't fault you for trying, but in taking a moment to reflect on the passing of a good close friend of mine, man, I see things from a completely different perspective. I just don't think that's the right avenue for me to go down.
John Cena just fucking threw us through the ring there. That was a hell of a.
No,
I feel bad. Yeah, no, you're right.
No, hey, whoa, yo. First of all, don't feel bad. And again, I think this is one of those things where nowadays we walk into sensitive territory, right? And people get scared and they get defensive, and that's how arguments happen and nobody gets hurt. I get what you guys are saying. I totally do. You caught me at a time in my life where I'm going through some stuff, and that's just not a path I want to take. That's not saying it's wrong. That's not saying it can't be funny. And I think people need to maybe pump the brakes on comedy a little bit and be a little bit more, understand that laughter is the best medicine. But I'm just saying, in this case, right now, here, that's just not a path I want to go down. I hear you. It's just not a path I want to go down.
I'm not funny anyways, so I won't even try to go down that route.
Yeah, let's transition it. I'll transition.
Especially just not for people to click on, something to click on.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. All right, I'll transition us. So Peacemaker, like we said at the beginning, go watch it. HBO Max, January 13th. The first 3 episodes are out. Then it's out every week.
Fast transition, by the way. Thank you.
Yes, I got you. The show looks like it is like you have a good sense of humor, very funny moments, but then a very serious side. Is that like I'm always awed by actors who are able to switch back and forth between those two, because I can't act, like none of us can act. How are you able to do that, in the same day? Or is it something like, all right, I'm showing up today. Today I'm going to do some funny scenes. Tomorrow we're going to do some more serious scenes.
Hey, man, you just sold yourself way short, because in the same conversation we've had in 15 minutes, we had a laugh about me wanting to fuck your belly button.
Yep.
And we just got really serious about the nature of mortality. So don't say you can't act, and don't say you can't get serious and then have jokes. I think that's why people are drawn to vulnerable performances where someone can laugh and then someone can cry and then someone can get serious. We're doing it right now. This is happening in real time right now. And I'm dressed up like a damn BC Superman.
Every time you put your hands up, it's funny.
I'm just trying to get more of the costume in there. So, I mean, it's, I hope this conversation, you guys remember when we talk next time, be like, yo, I remember when we did that Zoom and like, we did this and we laughed and you got serious for a minute. And those are our best times of connection, when we can let our guard down. And I hope your listeners have a takeaway moment. Maybe they engage in a conversation more than just the regular gossip fodder for having a moment of three people just being real together. So you can do this because you just did it. We just laughed about your belly button, and now we're just talking about something else serious. And then we're going back to talk about a TV show. So you can do it. And that's what makes it fun. And that's what makes hopefully more people listen.
I do wonder sometimes when actors, they get into a very emotional, vulnerable place when they're doing certain scenes, and whether or not that sticks with you after you're done with your day at work. You go home, you've just put yourself in a really tough place, being able to, access a part of your mind and a part of your body where you're able to show like, okay, you're crying, you're doing all this stuff in front of, maybe dozens of people that are working with you. That's got to affect you probably for the rest of the day, I would imagine. You can't just like snap your fingers, go home, everything's great, or maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think it's different for everybody. Which my thing is, it just takes a lot out of you. Just like going out of the ramp on the WWE. I go out there a ball of excitement and energy, and I'm, at a peak for 25 minutes, and I come back and I got nothing left. It's like the Seeger song, every ounce of energy you try to give away. It's the same thing when you're doing it on a more nuanced scale. You're just exhausted. So I think it takes, at least for me, it takes good people around me who support and understand what I'm trying to do, who could understand if I come home exhausted. It's nothing that they did. They didn't affect my mood. They didn't affect my trajectory, and just kind of let me either be in it or vent to them or take my own process to get back to sea level. But it's the same as going out in front of a sold out house, giving every ounce of energy you got and coming back and just being, you got nothing left. It's the same process. It's just over a 10, 12, 14-hour day.
I saw a quote from you recently. You said that, you'll always have a tie to WWE, and maybe WrestleMania 38, you're not going to be back, but you're a wrestler and you feel that, and it's part of your family.
Oh man, I'm a WWE superstar.
Yeah,
I'm not
you are.
If you've seen any of my matches, I'm not a wrestler.
No, you're a superstar. Have you, so I'm a child of the Attitude Era. I loved it.
So I killed it for you, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did. That's okay. Have you watched AEW at all? Do you think that it's good for competition is good here in terms of both products are just going to raise each other up? Because that was a lot of the Attitude Era, was there was competition and everything got better, and it was, for a lot of people like myself, the glory days of wrestling.
Yeah, I haven't watched AEW. Do I think competition is good? I think competition is great. There's internal competition within WWE about performers wanting to be champion or performers wanting to be headliners. I think whenever there's more buzz around an industry, it's good for the industry, and it forces all of us to be at our best. Because if you're not, your segment's not going to be good. Your performance is not going to be good. You may not have a future with the company you're with, and repeated bad segments from the group means the company ain't going to be good, which means the competition will succeed. So I think competition brings out the best in us. I mean, I for all time going out there as a performer, I always wanted to do the best I could possibly do, and certainly, set the tone for wanting to be the best show between Raw and SmackDown, and certainly have eyes on the segments that I was on. I was fueled by a sense of internal competition, not knowing what it's like now to be essentially in a market with a lot of different options. There's a lot of places to watch sports entertainment now, but that would only fuel me even more to be the best that I can be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was checking out your social media before this interview to see what was getting you going, and I noticed that you follow 365,000 people on Twitter.
Yes.
That's a lot of people. Do you actually use Twitter? Do you actually go to your timeline?
Yes, I use Twitter. I use Instagram. It's tough to follow the timeline just because of the amount of people I follow, but I'm trying to learn more about the world. I just went into a rabbit hole following EDM dance culture and non-fungible tokens, and also Twitch streamers. because I know nothing about any of these avenues of the world. And there are just like people may not know about WWE, like, oh, well, isn't that the fake stuff, or this happens? But there's fandom to there, and there's passion to there, and there's performers and stories. So a lot of times we're explaining to people like, yo, check out how many people follow me. I'm really glad to say that I allow, or 364,000 people have allowed me to follow them. And I'm learning a little bit about each and every person as I go, and I try to remain as diverse as I can. And I know social media is not the most positive place, so it's also an exercise in developing thick skin. I really enjoy it. Twitter only lets you follow 1,000 people a day.
Yeah. So do you do that yourself? Do you go through Twitter and you're selecting who you follow?
It is boring and it is arduous, and but the end product to me is I get a greater scope of what's going on, and I can learn some stuff about stuff I don't know about, and hopefully create a community. If you've seen the people I follow on Twitter, hopefully maybe you've seen some of the messages I send, and I try to send some stuff that, like this interview, maybe will evoke some philosophical conversation. So if we can get folks from all across the world, from every different place and every different culture to start asking bigger and broader questions and start talking about some philosophical stuff, I don't know, maybe, just maybe it can balance that social media out to a little bit more positive. What's
one philosophical question that you've been asking yourself recently?
Purpose. It origins around purpose, and I think that's a question that a lot of people throw that term around, and I think it's a really tough question to answer. And my advice is just try not to rush it. Try to just you really have to look into who you are and find out who you are, and a clear sense of purpose. Man, really, it's like when you ask me, hey, you were very kind in saying you're John Cena. You can do anything you want. What do you choose? Well, a lot of things have to coincide with my values, and certainly it has to fuel my purpose. So that's that, just from philosophy, like not why are we here as a human species, but why are you here as a human being? Looking at that question, why are you here? And it could be anything. And a lot of times people come up with an answer that's really fun for other people to hear that isn't really the answer that is the real answer. And I think taking an honest look at ourselves and maybe asking ourselves that question of why are we here, that's a heck of a start.
All right, so John, we appreciate you coming on. Everyone go check out Peacemaker on HBO Max. My last question was simply, it's January. Most people are trying to diet and get in shape. I literally wrote this down. How do you get your muscles to look so awesome?
That is a piece of dialogue that should be in Peacemaker, and I'm going to tell James Gunn to write that into season 2.
I mean, need it. We need the tips. How do you get him to look so awesome?
It's the tips are easy. The application is hard. Make good choices and be consistent, and that's absolutely it. Don't make it a January diet. Make it a lifestyle change. Make good choices and be consistent. And that's it. I'm
like, when you say that, it's like I go through my Rolodex in my brain. I'm like, I am so inconsistent and I make terrible choices.
What if you just what if you're consistently inconsistent? So you go on the crash diets and then you get like a week per month where your muscles look really good, and then the other 3 weeks they look like crap.
Well, then you find yourself in a bit of a conundrum where you may look good, but on the inside you may be really unhealthy. So there's also that balance you got to find too.
That's a great tip. All right, WWE superstar John Cena, and also star of Peacemaker, out January 13th, HBO Max.
Hey, guys, thank you for having the patience to get a little deep with me today, and also thank you for helping me process the loss of a close friend. His name was Ronnie Bullington. He drove my tour bus for 12 years. We lost him on Sunday, and he is an honorary member of the Cena family, having spent over 10 Christmases in my house, forming wonderful bonds with my mom, my whole family. My nieces loved him. I'll always love him, but we were open and vulnerable men. We talked openly with each other. He knew I loved him. I knew he loved me. The world was a better place with him in it, and we're going to miss him. So thanks for giving me a second to reflect on that. I appreciate it.
It's a beautiful message, and I think I'm very, very sorry for your loss, because, we work in an industry where we work long hours with people, and the people you work with really do become your family. And it's a bond that maybe people who work 9 to 5 don't fully understand sometimes, but when you grind those late hours, it's more than just coworkers.
Yeah, especially as a traveling entertainer. he's pretty much my roommate for 12 years. So we had a wonderful time. And I'm looking back on our time with a lot of smiles, and my heart hurts, but it's filled with joy at the same time, knowing that he was in my life. So I'm a better man for it.
Yeah. Someone told me last time I went through a tough experience like that. You'll start to when you think about them, there'll be a time when you smile before you feel sad, and that might be 6 months from now, it might be a year from now. But once you reach that point, then you can kind of make a little bit of peace and start to have that be, his memory is now a positive thing in your life. But hope, all the best to you and your family, and hope you get through it all right.
Much. That's great advice. And like I said, just appreciate you guys. So thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Thanks, John.
John Cena is brought to you by our great friends at Coors Light. These days, it seems like life forces us to be on all the time, but every now and again, it's important to stop and reset. That's when you reach for an ice-cold Coors Light. It's mountain cold refreshment. It's made to chill. I had a Coors Light this weekend. Went out to a bar, ordered a bucket of Coors Lights. They came out. I'm telling you, these mountains were the bluest my eyes have ever seen. The mountains are bluer this year. I don't know how. If you haven't had Coors Light this wintertime, go check it out, because somehow it's colder than it was last year. The mountains are bluer. Everything's go in today's world. Well, guess what? With Coors Light, it's made to chill. You need to reach for an ice-cold Coors Light. It's refreshing. Enjoy a cold Coors Light today. It's the one that I choose when I have to unwind. Hit reset, reach for the beer that's made to chill. You can get it on Drizzly or Instacart at CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Okay, we're going to wrap up our show. We got our good friend, Jersey Jerry, back on the show. It is Bring Your Lunch Pail / Guys on Chicks. So we're going to talk a lot of different questions. But let's begin with your Steelers. How are we feeling about the playoffs?
I feel good. I was just at my desk, just sitting over there, just thinking about stuff, and I think this team could make a run. People laugh at me. I put up a tweet today. I really think the Steelers could beat the Chiefs. I got laughed at, humiliated on Twitter, but I really believe it. If the defense steps up, and if they can contain, Mahomes and Hill. Hill's not 100%, let's not forget.
True.
And Kelsey. The Chiefs are due for a bad game, man. They really are just due for one.
You know what the key to the game is? You got to heat Mahomes up.
Mm-hmm.
You got to heat him up.
Yep.
If you
Gotta
can
hit him.
If you can heat him up.
Yep.
Break him in half.
Yeah. Just
I agree.
make him think about you.
For sure.
That's when you run into problems with Mahomes, is when he's not even thinking about the rush. When he starts thinking about it, he's liable to do weird stuff.
Oh, exactly. And then for anybody who's been watching the NFL this year or the past 3
Forever,
years.
yeah.
No, let's say 3 years, the past 3 years. The best defensive player in football has been T.J. Watt. It's a fact.
I'd agree.
He's
Aaron Donald, too. This year, it's T.J. Watt. He's my defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald's
I have
win
a
rate
vote.
is very, very high.
Yeah, I have a vote.
I know you have a vote, but I'm just saying, you look at the numbers, even last year's numbers, T.J. Watt beats him in 5 out of 7 categories.
You do have you are such a diehard Steelers fan. I knew that from the second I met you, because I think we were maybe an hour into our relationship and you were giving me stats about how TJ Watt beats Aaron Donald in all the important numbers. And that's a great fan characteristic to have, to just walk around with info in your head to get into debates.
And knowing it's not really debatable because it's a real number.
Right, you close it. We watched Sunday Night Football. We were here in the studio. We were all watching your stream.
Yeah.
Confirm or deny, there were tears in your eyes.
Yeah, I was crying.
Just a little.
I was crying, when Herbert got the 2-point conversion. I just started tearing up, and I'm like, this is it. This is how Ben's gonna go out, and it's not fair. You know what I mean? And I'm so happy. I even donated to Carlson's charity. He has a bunch of charities.
I love that.
I even donated $50 to his charity.
Ultimate fan move.
Out of respect, you know what I mean? And
Didn't the Bills build an entire wing of a hospital for Andy Dalton?
I think they saved 1 million children.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy, But yeah, dude, like I said, Big Cat, I think this team is, the story of the Steelers this year and even last year, they just find a way just to win. They just find a way to win, and I think Tomlin does a good job of rallying the boys around him. And I wouldn't be surprised. There's a lot of Steelers fans that'll be like, oh, my God, I'll be so surprised if the Chiefs lose. I won't be surprised.
No.
I won't. because they're due. They're due for a bad game.
Yeah.
Okay, I love the confidence.
Yeah, I like it too. When you were watching it on Sunday night, were you thinking like this is rigged? Did you actually think
100%.
Why-
100%.
Why? I'm just curious to know because like there was so much weird stuff going on during the game.
Yeah.
I could see why somebody would be like, "This isn't adding up right now." But from your perspective, why do you think the NFL at the time? Why did it feel like the NFL was out to get the Steelers?
Because this is exactly why. I'll tell you this. When there was a part in the game where it was almost not impossible for the scores match up and be right. And then just how somehow, some way, in the fourth quarter, the most important quarter of a football game, the scores magically are going to line up if this team gets a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. It's like, wow, it's rigged. This is rigged for ratings. It's rigged for views.
That does happen in football. Overtime does happen.
It does, but how many? Let's say this: how many times has it happened this year? You think?
Overtime.
Didn't the Steelers go in?
Yeah, the Steelers tied a game.
They had a tie.
We
They
tied a
did,
game.
they
Yeah,
tied a game.
but if you break down every single
But
NFL
just
game,
Sunday?
Yeah. Well, the overtime there was that game.
no, we tied against the Lions.
Yeah, but you went in overtime against the Ravens too. You're
Yeah,
right.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Ravens. But I'm saying, how many times would you say this year in total in NFL?
I would, off the top of my head, I don't know, like
7?
no more.
No,
than, probably
more than
like
that.
15.
I was gonna
16.
say maybe Jake will look up right now. I would say like 25.
No, I'd
It
say
felt like one a week, maybe a couple extra.
It did come down to the end though. To be fair, there were 2 seconds left on the clock in overtime when that field goal went through, and it seemed like the Chargers were content to get a tie. The Raiders were content to get a tie until that timeout just kind of like shook everything up real quick and kind of snapped people out of whatever fog they were in.
Yeah, I don't agree. I think they were going to try the field goal regardless.
Do you know what's funny is the reason why the Steelers are in the playoffs is because of a tie.
For sure, yeah. The
If
one
they had
saved
lost
them.
that game to the Lions,
Saved them, yeah.
they would the Raiders and the Chargers would be in the playoffs.
Good point, yeah.
So-
the tie saved them.
Tie did save you.
Yeah, and I read a good stat today. Every team that the Chiefs lost to, can you name them or no?
Bills?
Yeah.
Mhm.
They lost to the
Browns?
Chargers,
Titans.
Did the Browns beat them?
Titans.
What about the Ravens?
The Bills,
Ravens?
the Titans, the Ravens, the Chargers.
Who beat all those teams?
the
Steelers must
beat
have.
Steelers are 4-0 against those teams.
Wait, no, they lost 5 games though. The Bengals. Did you beat the Bengals? Oh no.
We didn't beat them.
Oh no.
We're 4-1.
You didn't get to the end of the stat.
Yeah,
That's okay. It happens.
But we played good against all
4
those
and
teams.
1. That's an 80% chance you're gonna win
Yeah, exactly.
if you do the. I don't know. What that
These
would
guys
be.
I'm getting my stats from lately, they're just wrong stats.
Who are you getting your stats
I mean,
from?
what about the stat I said the other day? It was a fake stat.
He was like, Jerry was like, Big Ben is the longest tenured quarterback of all time for a franchise. I was like, didn't Tom Brady play for the
Yeah.
Patriots for 20 years?
Yeah.
And it was
Where are
just
you
a
getting
fake stat.
Who's your stat guy?
I mean, it's the hashtags on Instagram.
Oh, like Steeler stats?
Yeah, like I just put the hashtag Steelers and it just. I mean, this is just ridiculous.
These
now.
I mean, it's making you look bad.
It is.
And you're a smart guy. This is fucked
We gotta
up.
do, yeah, it's a fake news.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something's rigged.
The Bengals, that literally happened last week.
I just read that on the hashtag Steelers.
And the Steelers not only lost to him, they lost to him twice.
Twice. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're feel good. I'm excited. Sunday night, we'll be there with you.
Yep.
Tune in. Gambling
Who's
Cave.
gonna? I just want to know who's gonna be at this.
Brendan won't be there.
Cool.
That was your question.
You got a problem with Brendan?
No, I don't know. I don't have a problem with him. I'm just.
He's got bad vibes.
It seems like there's been you've been hot and cold on him.
Yeah, I mean, because it's just weird. Some days are good, some days are bad, and now I'm at the point where I just don't want to even be around that.
Yeah. So it's all bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. Let's do some questions. So lunch pail and guys on chicks. Yep. Oh, your mic's not on. Hold on.
U.S. Postal Service mail carrier here. Yes, I wear an actual blue collar. Happened back during MLB season. I got some sick time coming to me, so I take 2 days. Go to a day game and night game. Post a pic of me at a game on Instagram. Coworker screenshots the pic and sends it to the supervisors. Now I'm in hot water facing a 2-year probation. This is a dude I've had post-work beers with on multiple occasions. Question is, How to handle things with the dirtbag trader. With respect, proud union member local 377.
Yeah, this happened to guys at my job all the time. It's in our at least our rule book. If you call out sick, the supervision at any time can come to your house and check if you're still there. It's against their policy to pretty much go out if you're on sick time. You know what I mean? Go out in public or whatever. Unless it's for a doctor's appointment, you have to be home. So I mean, I would say just don't put any. I mean, in the past I've called out sick and done things, but I don't post it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, yeah, so this is where it kind of comes into play, where his coworker ratted him out.
Yeah.
So it's not like the supervisor went to his house while he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Got him in trouble. Like, that's kind of a
Snitch,
like
yeah.
Yeah, we got
man law.
I think my union's a little different. We wear stickers all over our hard hats that say we don't work with rats, and sounds like this guy works with rats.
Got to flush them out.
Got to set a trap up.
Yep.
Hey guys, PFT got me into this situation, so y'all are responsible for getting me out of it. My husband has trained our 3-year-old daughter to say, "You're absolutely right, boom," instead of a simple yes. Almost exclusively. It's to the point that when anyone asks her a yes or no question, she replies with, "You're absolutely right, boom," including her first dentist appointment, her grandparents, Santa at the mall, etc. I've got about 6 months until she goes to preschool. Send help.
No. That's a football gal.
This is awesome. You're absolutely right, boom.
It's a good thing.
It must sound so cute to hear a kid say it, too.
Yeah, I never heard a kid say that.
Yeah, that's got to be the cutest thing ever. Maybe send us a video, email it. We don't want to put you on blast, but it would be nice to see because that's very funny.
That's the best way to get her to stop saying it, is for you to take a video of it and then for you to share it online.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, Jake got us most overtime games in NFL regular season history, 25 in 2002. This year was 4th most with 21.
Wow, it's a lot.
So 21 overtime games. So it happens,
It happens.
but it's rigged.
Was it only 2 ties? How many ties were there this
There's
year?
only one.
Just one?
Yeah.
Just one?
Steelers.
Yeah, Steelers.
Did the Steelers? No, they didn't tie last year.
All right, next question.
Hey, Jersey Jerry. When I was at work, I had a coworker throw a can full speed at my head and then go ballistic, all because I called him by his name. How do I proceed to build my relationship with him and coexist?
Tough one.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't know who this is about, but I would just say for now, I'd just say, stay away. Everybody deserves a second chance in life. You know what I mean? Everybody. And for a guy like me, I've had multiple chances, to turn my life around. I'd say give this guy a chance and let him prove everybody wrong and get the help he needs. And then maybe down the line, you hear stories of people hating each other for years, and then one day something clicks and they become best friends, So I could see a scenario like that happening here.
Also, sounds like, again, we don't know who we're talking about here, but sounds like it might be a little fallback plan being in, major leagues. Sounds like he's got a cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would also just add that one day you might look back at this and actually see this as being one of the most important days of your life.
Yep.
Where it's like, hey, we both got to grow from this, and we came back so much stronger.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if in a year these guys are, I'd say, going on vacation together with their families.
Oh, you know what this is about? I think this is the Office storyline with Andy Bernard when he had to go to management training,
Or when you punched a hole in the wall.
anger management training.
Yeah, that, you know what? That's what it is.
funny.
That's
Yeah,
what
and
it
he
is.
came back.
You tried to trick us on this one.
And
Very
he stopped
funny.
going by the Nard dog. He just went by Andy.
I just thought it was interesting that, Hank. Oh, sorry. I was going to
Okay.
not name names.
What's up?
Where was Hank? That's all
Where
I'm
was
saying.
Hank?
Hank
Where
would have
was Hank?
prevented this from happening.
Well, it was 10 a.m.
Hank would have been there.
Yeah.
Hashtag where was Hank?
Where was Hank?
What's up, boys? I'm quitting my current job that is strictly commission-based, but I've heard from other coworkers that quit that they don't get paid for this. Okay, he wrote this wrong. I've heard from other coworkers that quit that they didn't get paid for the sales they had made during the pay period they quit in. My boss even said in reference to a girl that quit after vacation, we knew she was quitting, so we didn't pay her. I get paid on the 20th, and it'll be about $1,700. Any advice on what I should do? Thanks, Big Cat, PFT, Honk, my boy Billy, and Jerry in advance.
It sounds like you got to wait till the 20th.
Well,
This is pretty easy.
but then you run into the situation where you just put off your next check that you're not going to get paid for.
Stop working, but stay at your job.
exactly.
Physically stay there.
Like show up to work.
Actually, what you should do is you should take vacation, because I'm sure it's January. It's January, so you probably got a lot.
Yep.
Take a vacation from the 12th to the 20th. Show up, quit, get your check.
I also think that all you need to do here is just send a letter that you can even write it yourself, but then like make a fake name at the end and then put attorney at law at the end.
Yeah, there you go.
And all they need to see is like, oh, this person knows a lawyer. Okay, because by law they have to pay you.
Of
Right.
course, yeah.
You've earned that money already. They're not doing you a favor by giving you the money that you've earned.
Yep.
That you're entitled to that legally. So
That's fucked up that they. That's fucked up.
A lot of companies
just threaten
are
them
like that.
with legal recourse, or just let the person know that you are in touch with the lawyer, that you are familiar with your rights.
Hit us back with the name of the company. Jersey Jerry will do a rant video.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I will.
He'll get in his car and he'll fucking blast these
I will.
guys.
I put people out of business. That's just what I do.
Jiffy Lube's never been the same.
Nope.
Nope.
Look at their stuff.
That was very funny talking about the air filter.
It is
It's
bad.
true. Yeah,
bad.
they always try to get you.
Always.
Sup, fellas? Question is for Jerry. What's your opinion on the elevators technician union? I'm currently second on the list and been waiting on a call since July of last year. Any advice would be helpful.
One of the best unions there is, elevator union.
Really?
Biggest money you can make. One of the best unions there is. I
Wow.
swear. Yep. They like this guy's first year. He'll easily make probably 120, 125 first year. I mean, you're talking about guys that make over 200, 250 a year.
Do you think people in the elevators union do you think they just never take the stairs out of principle?
I would assume so. Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't.
They
take
see a
it
set
there.
of stairs, they're like, no.
No.
Either that, or they know all the dirty shit that goes into elevator maintenance, and they know the buildings to not take the elevators in. So if you see an elevator repair guy taking the stairs, you follow that guy. It's like the people that wear the bomb shirts that say like bomb technician. If you see me sprinting away, run with me.
It is funny to think like stairs are, like stairs were newspapers, elevators are internet.
Yep.
Just fucking out of business.
Yep.
Now, if you're in the elevator union, are you certified to work on both Otis and Thruss and Krupp units, or is that just one?
I don't know. I wouldn't know. I was never in the union. I never had friends in the union, but I've heard stories about friends' family members in the union. They make a lot of money.
Yeah, I got a friend that got into the elevator union, had a party. They threw like a giant party once they got the news they were in, because you're set for life.
Oh yeah, yeah.
At that point.
And he's probably well off right now.
He's doing good right now. Yeah.
Love it.
My great grandfather was an elevator guy.
Yeah,
one fell on his head, killed him.
I always, I like Barstool. I like everything this company does. I still got those thoughts though.
What?
Going back?
Union?
I still got those thoughts.
We could unionize.
I don't know if Dave doesn't like that.
Yeah. As a joke.
Yeah.
Billy, go ahead.
Last one. This is more of a question. If the Steelers lose Sunday,
What was the other one?
this one's specifically a question for
What have we been
Jerry.
doing?
For Jerry. If the Steelers lose Sunday, would Jerry do a live stream of him doing a sink full of dishes?
Oh.
If they lose.
No,
if
if
they
they
lose-
win.
Yeah, I think that's
So if you don't know, Jerry's internet stardom started with Blake Bortles, who's a very good friend of ours, ruining the Steelers season.
Yep.
And Jerry was screaming at his mom, "You won't find me doing nothing, no dishes, no nothing. You'll find me hanging from the ceiling."
yeah.
And so I think if the Steelers win the Super Bowl, then you do dishes for a week.
Oh, I do dishes for the rest of my life.
Did you do any dishes that week?
That I probably did that week because my mom would have just snapped on me. But I definitely,
So it was an empty threat?
yeah, I definitely didn't do them that day though.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. But definitely during that week. I cook a lot, so
So you and your mom had like a stare down, a game of chicken. Like, will Jerry kill himself or will he do the dishes first?
she was pissed. She was pissed that got released. But yeah, I mean, I still go crazy, man. I try not to let myself get to that point anymore. But
I
Just
think
cry
that's
during
not
overtime?
True at all?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
you.
but
But that's what we like.
she's
You got-
upstairs.
you
You know what I
lost
mean?
it
Out of
a couple
respect, I try to tone it down because
at the gambling cave, you go crazy.
Yeah, because I'm not home, you know what I mean? But, like, even if you notice in the live video, I was trying to stay quiet for the most part because I didn't want her coming downstairs and just snapping.
Yeah.
Do you make bargains with the universe going into games? Like, just telling them.
Oh, like, I'd do anything,
I'll
yeah.
do this if if we can just pull off this
All
one
week,
win,
yeah.
one last win.
Like, my dream, like if I could have one dream and one thing come true, it wouldn't be for me to be a millionaire. It wouldn't be for my family to be set for the rest of their life. It would be for Big Ben to go out like the bus did with a ring. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'd love that. I'd do anything. I'd do anything for that. Anything.
Beautiful. All right. Well, Jerry, thank you. Good luck.
You got
Sunday
it.
night we'll be with you. Let's do numbers. Let's guess numbers.
Yeah, 66.
What do you not? How do you not?
8.
7?
No, 66.
Okay.
6.
I'll guess
69.
7.
Would this be their 7th title too?
Yeah.
So 7th Big
Yeah.
Ben, a sign that I had. Last time they won, they were the 6th seed.
Yeah.
This time is they're the
7th
7th
seed.
seed. Steelers have 6 rings.
Yeah.
Number 7, Big Ben, 7 Super Bowls.
7th seed.
7 seed.
7 seed, number 7
It's gonna happen.
on the uniform.
What's the day of the Super Bowl? What's the date?
February 7th.
No.
I know, I just made that one up.
All right.
13th.
I'll go 7.
Do I need to be suspended? I'll leave it up to the committee. I think
No, Jake,
last week.
Jake, you don't self-report. No, you can't self-impose punishments.
That's what I did last week.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
So-
no, you have to
I'm suspended.
Notes app
No-
thrown. No,
just-
no
just
suspension.
notes app?
Yeah, just
Okay.
notes app.
That's
We've
69.
fair.
suspended enough people today. Memes? 3.
44.
Eight.
Notes app tomorrow.
Doesn't count. Another
Was that-
redraw.
that was
42.
42. Does not count.
Jackie
42
Robinson.
almost got up there.
I'm seeing
Did not.
69.
If this is 7 now after that false start, I'm putting everything on the Steelers.
What is that? Is
One.
that 7?
It's a 1.
Oh.
Oh, it's a 1. Number 1. Jerry,
Fifth
you're number
timer.
1. All right. See everyone on Friday.
They use giant rats to defuse landmines.
Love you guys.